What's up guys, and welcome to today's video. I hope everybody is well. Are any of you guys interested in a full week of training with me, the Chesty Overlord? If not, probably don't want to watch this video. Anyway, I've decided to do a little series on my channel. It's a 5-episode series where I'm going to take you through my current training split. Each episode is going to be dedicated to taking an in-depth look at that particular session which I'm doing. So I felt like as soon as I touched down on this island, the beginning of July, my routine took a turn for the worst. There's a lot of distractions. All my friends came out here. There was many things to do, and there was quite a few parties and stuff to attend. So my training was very average, and I kind of felt like it was quite average for a month. I was almost just doing what I could. Right up until my birthday weekend, that was like the final send-off. After that, everyone went home. Things got way more strict here. Pretty much all the bars, any kind of club has to close at 1 in the morning. So the temptation to go out and party is minimal. It's almost like a blessing in disguise because now I can actually keep my head down and crack on, right? So training at the moment is probably the best it's been for a while, and it shows because I feel as though my physique is definitely looking a lot better than it was a month ago. Okay, so we are out here, Nirvana Gym, you already know. Best time of the day to train, I think, around 6, 7 o'clock. The sun is no longer frazzling me from above, and it's cooled down a little bit. So today's session will be back and delts, with a little bit of focus on the rear delts as well. First exercise is going to be a plate loaded row. This machine hits the spot. I've been using it for a while. I'm going to be using a neutral grip, pinching the squeeze right about there. Since this is the first exercise, I'm going to go heavy. I'm going to go as heavy as I can possibly go, whilst maintaining the form and maintaining as much tension as possible on my lat, minimizing bicep engagement. So I'm finishing off in this position, elbow 90 degrees. But I want to finish off here. If I'm doing that, too much bicep, bringing it to my hip. And as much as I love the sound of the ocean, I cannot train in silence. Well, I mean, I can, but I just don't enjoy it. I am in my element when I'm listening to my favorite tunes and I'm training by myself. I don't actually like to train with other people unless they are an absolute savage and they push me. Right, so after 3 working sets of that one, then I'm going to go into the dumbbell pullover, lat focused, not chest focused. This is a tricky one. I don't really advise or recommend beginner or intermediate trainers do this one. It's just a complex one to grasp. Anyone can go through the movement, but to actually pull over and contract the lats, it's quite something to master. So it takes quite a bit of practice, but when you do manage to figure it out, I think it's one of the best exercises you can do for building up your lats. Like the stretch, the contraction is amazing. And you will actually notice quite a bit of tricep engagement as well. I feel it better than doing like a cable pull down. You see loads of people doing the cable pull down. It's a good exercise, but I feel like this one's even better. But it's not for everyone, like I said. delicious. Immediately feel the pump. Just be very careful when you do that exercise because it is a risky one. Not only when you're bringing it deep and you get the stretch, if you don't have that control, you might injure yourself. And then when you're pulling it over, that's a lot of weight that is above your face. 40 kilograms above my face, an inch away from falling onto me, so you've got to be careful. Do it if you have the movement under control. So next exercise or exercises we're going to go into is pull down superset with a row. Now with a pull down, I'm doing a neutral grip. I've actually strayed away from doing quite a lot of wide grip pull-ups or pull downs because it's irritated my elbow a little bit. Particularly the pull-ups, wide grip pull-ups has been destroying my elbow, so I'm just leaving it out for a bit. So I'll be doing the neutral pull down, and then I'll be going on to a pronated seated row. So obviously with the pull down, I'll be fresher, I'll be able to lift a little bit more weight, I'm going to be more fatigued when I come into this one, so the weight is going to be lower than usual. I'm going to try and keep my form as good as it possibly can be. Okay, so music on, in the zone, let us go. Okay, so now I'm just gonna have a little break from all the back training, all the rowing, etc. And now we're gonna hit the delts. Now, the way I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do a very standard dumbbell lateral raise, but I'm gonna do a lot of volume. Okay, so probably I'm gonna be doing 6 to 8 sets. Okay, my goal is just to master this exercise as best I can, fry the mid delts, and just keep repeating that same movement. Okay. If I get very, very good at executing this movement, then it's going to be extremely effective for me. And that means I won't really have to do too many other variations of lateral raises. Just stick to something which works and do a lot of volume, a lot of sets, which is what I need to do because shoulders are a weak point of mine. Breathing is important in this one as well. This is something which I'm trying to do more of. When I'm recovering in between the sets, I'm trying to inhale through my nose, so, and then breathe out through the mouth. Breathe in through the nose, out through the mouth. I even try and do that when I'm doing the sets, and you'll be surprised how much more energy you have if you control your breathing. I know I don't really talk much about breathing, but it's something which I've really started to become aware of how important it is. Probably going to have about 60 seconds rest in between each one of these. So each set is obviously going to get a little bit harder. If I do feel like my form is completely going to shit, then I'll just lower the weight. But what I'm trying to do, lean forward, keep the arms straight, and keep all the tension right here. Right, it was a great video I did with Ben Pull. It was a great video I did with Bren. Fuck off. I'm gonna chin the shit out of that hand sanitizing dispenser. I usually don't talk at all during my sessions. I don't say a word to anyone. I save that energy. As I was saying, there's a great tutorial video I did with Ben Pakulski in Dubai about how to properly execute the dumbbell lateral raise. Ever since then, it's completely changed my way of doing that exercise, and it does feel like it's really working. Okay, so the next one, we're gonna try and isolate the rear delts here. I don't really see too many people doing this one, but I do it from time to time, and it's one of those exercises where I really do feel the burn on my rear delt. Okay, I don't know the exact name. Maybe it's an upright rear delt row. That's what I'm gonna go with. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna hook the dumbbell. So I'll take my bicep out of the equation a little bit. I'm gonna lean onto something. Ideally, this is best done in front of a mirror so you can see what's going on. But I'm just gonna row up like that and just get my rear delt to pop. So I'm trying not to retract my scapula. I'm trying to keep everything stabilized. I'm just driving my elbow back and pinching the rear delt. Would be a lot better with a mirror. But there is not a single mirror out here. Rear delt's on fire. That's a good thing. If the area which you're trying to target is burning and is on fire, then I'd consider that a job well done. So the last exercise to finish off, it's going to be a one-arm dumbbell row, but different to how I would usually do it. A lot of time when I'm doing heavy one-arm rows, it's kind of keeping the elbow in, you know, like the first exercise which I did. The one I'm going to do now, I'm going to flare the elbow. So I'm going to be bringing the dumbbell up to the side. Now obviously I can't bring my elbows high compared to if I keep my elbow in. So you'll be careful not to ruin your shoulder joint. But what I'm basically trying to do, drive the elbow up, get the rear delt to pop, and then it's back down. Up, rear delt, and down. Okay, so this is very focused on the upper back, the trap, the rear delt. Okay. Okay, so that is the session complete. That would usually take me about 60 minutes, maybe a little bit more, but today I was doing quite a bit of talking and making sure I was getting all the angles, so I was there for about an hour and 20 minutes. That routine is as good as you make it, right? If you go in there, you're not focusing, you're just fanning about, just going through the movement without thinking about what muscle is doing what, squeezing the contraction, following the tempo, maintaining that form and tension, then in my opinion it's a waste of time. Okay, this is where you need to get your head down and you need to concentrate 100%. Okay, when the session is done, then you walk out the gym and then you can carry on with the day, right? But this time is where you need to be in the game. So that is the session done. Ideally, when I walk out of the gym, I want to feel a sense of pride and accomplishment, as if I've really pushed myself, as if I've stepped out of my comfort zone, and feel as though I couldn't really have given much more during that session. If I have that feeling, then I feel good. There's nothing worse when you walk out and you just feel like, oh, yeah, that was an average session. I don't like average sessions. I'm not about average sessions. If I have an average session, then I'm not going to progress. Okay, and the same goes for you guys too. That is what motivates me. That's what gets me to the gym in the first place, and that is what keeps me pushing as hard as I possibly can do when I'm in that gym, so that I can have that feeling of joy and happiness and pride, like I've absolutely smashed it, and then I can just crack on with my day. So I'm going to quickly talk about my training split. Now, just because I'm doing this doesn't mean you should do it, okay? Training splits, you should follow based upon how frequently you can train and what your strengths and what your weaknesses are, okay? So I'm doing a 5-day split. You don't have to do a split within a 7-day period. A lot of people see a week as 7 days, which it technically is, but it doesn't mean that your training split has to follow that 7 days, okay? My current split is a 5-day split. Day 1, back and delts, which was today. Day 2, tomorrow, is going to be legs. Day 3, arms and abs. Day 4, rest. I have a rest day after 3 consecutive days of training. And then day 5 is chest, delts and traps. Now what I will do on day 6 is I'll go back and repeat that split, okay? So day 6 will be back and delts. Day 7 will be legs, and then because I've done 3 consecutive days of training again, I will have a rest day after that. So it's just going through that cycle again and again and again. So each week, I'm not going to be training the same thing every day, if that makes sense. Now the reason why I've only got chest once is because chest is one of my strongest points. Okay? There's absolutely no need for me to do more chest volume, okay? It'd be simply unnecessary. My chest would just be even bigger and make everything else look smaller. I'll just be out of proportion. So for me, I need to hit chest once. For most of you guys, if you want a bigger chest, you should probably hit it twice. Okay, I'm hitting delts twice because that is a weak point of mine, which I want to focus upon. And then we've kind of got back, legs, arms, and traps like once, but I'm not doing it once per week, right? They are pretty much getting trained every 6 days, every 5-6 days, okay? And the reason why I'm doing arms on their own, I'm gonna go through that on arm day and tell you why I do that, okay? So that is a little insight into the split which I'm doing at the moment. I will change my split usually every 3 to 4, maybe even 5 weeks. It really depends upon if I'm still enjoying it, if I still find it exciting and challenging, and also based on the progress and improvement, okay? So a particular split will focus quite a lot of volume on a particular muscle group, and then once I feel as though that muscle group has had sufficient volume, then I will switch it up, okay? So maybe I will go back to, hitting my back a little bit more frequently, or my legs a little bit more frequently, okay? It's always changing, it's always cyclical. Then obviously with the splits, each week, the volume progressively increases, okay? So that basically means I'm either doing a little bit more drop sets or more reps, more sets, something like that, okay? So the volume goes up. I have a deload week, usually on the 5th week, but I'll talk about that more on the rest day when it comes to recovery and so on. I really could just go on and on ranting about all of this, but I'll keep it at that for now. So hopefully you've enjoyed this video. If you do have any questions about my training split or your training split in general, ask them below, because I'll be able to answer some of those questions in the following few videos. There is going to be 5 videos on this little series. This is video 1. You've got 4 more to come, so hopefully you do enjoy them. So make sure you give it a thumbs up if you've enjoyed it. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you guys for day number 2.